Hey YouTube, it's Evan and I'm back with another video. This is going to be one of the types of videos that's on this PC that I got. So this is going to be about best settings for Call of Duty Modern Warfare / Warzone, as far as getting a good frame rate. My definition of good might be different than yours, coming from console where I'm used to, 60 frames being kind of like the golden standard. I appreciate, between like 90 and 120. This monitor is 144 hertz. I don't really care too much about going too much higher than 120, so just keep that in mind as we go through this video. So the best display mode that you want to use is full screen. Your computer isn't going to dedicate all of its resources to the game by default for any application that isn't in full screen, so make sure you're playing in full screen. This is specific to my monitor, obviously. So again, we're looking at a computer with a 1660 graphics card. Refresh rate, my monitor again goes up to 144 hertz, and it's a 1080p monitor. This computer does not really run games at 1440p from what I've been able to from some preliminary testing that I've done just for the sake of it. But I don't have a 1440p monitor anyways, so and I assume the vast majority of people are still gaming in 1080p. So yeah, aspect ratio, automatic, all of this is going to just be pretty standard. I turned off the Nvidia highlights. I didn't really notice too much of a hit to the FPS though, so if you're somebody who already uses and enjoys them, you can keep those on. Moving on, I have most of the settings pretty high, honestly. Texture resolution, texture filter, anisotropic, particle quality, bold impacts enabled. This in particular doesn't affect your FPS really at all. Tessellation does a little bit. You can even go up to all if you want, but it's kind of up to you, honestly. Some people say that there's not too many areas that are tessellated in this game. Other people say that there are, so it's really up to you. I might even change this at some point myself. Anyways, moving on though, shadow map resolution. This is something that's gonna have a big impact on your frames, so I have it set to normal. Setting it to low makes them look really bad, so I'd say normal at the very least. Cache sunspot shadows and cache sun shadows, I don't know why those got disabled, but those should definitely be enabled. I'm not lying or anything. I don't know what the hell happened, if my computer went into safe mode for this game or what, and I forgot to re-enable these, but you want these enabled. Disabling them will only actually hurt your frame rate. The only reason why you'd want to disable them is if you don't have enough RAM, which I do recommend popping in an extra 8 gigabytes of RAM, so that shouldn't be a problem. And as you can see, it's such a small difference. And actually, never mind, it's video RAM usage, so it shouldn't even really physical RAM shouldn't even be a factor, and you just want to leave these on because by caching these things, you want to it's actually gonna allow the game to run smoother. Anyway, sorry for the long little piece on that. Particle lighting, I have it on ultra. This doesn't really affect your frame rate too much, and it's been shown that the lighting just looks different. It's not even necessarily worse. It just looks a little bit different and at different levels. I do think Ultra looks better than the other ones, but and there's this Nvidia link that's actually where they discuss the best settings, and they actually say that between normal, low, high, ultra, it just the lighting is just a little bit different. I just have it on ultra because again there's not too much of a frame difference, if any, and I think ultra looks a little bit better, but you can really have this at whatever you want. Ray tracing I have off, but I'll get back to that. This is gonna be possibly the biggest hit to your frame rate if you have it on, so I do recommend having it off for the vast majority of people. Ambient occlusion, we have it set to both. It looks a lot worse without it, and it doesn't, the computer can handle it at a reasonable frame rate, so I have it on both. Screen space reflections, SSRs, these are also going to be they're going to take a big toll on your resources, so I have it set to low. Anti-Aliasing, I have it on the Filmic SMAA T2X. That's going to be the highest quality type of anti-aliasing. You can change it to the SMAA 2X, but I really, or the T2X, but I really recommend having it on this one. Depth of field, I have it disabled because that literally just blurs your background, which you obviously want. You know, if you're gaming at a competitive level, you know, want no blur. You want as sharp of an image as possible. So I have that on both. Filmic strength, I have that on 20. So this kind of goes hand in hand with your anti-aliasing. So you can kind of play around with that a little bit. That's just kind of what a level that I found to be good. So you can copy that, feel free to. World motion blur and weapon motion blur, I have both of those disabled. Those are some of the most common things that most people know to disable. It makes things look like cinematic when you're playing, but most people, you know, it just makes them dizzy or nauseous, especially when you're playing multiplayer. Maybe for campaign might be a cool idea, but yeah, otherwise I just have them disabled. Same with film grain. That's something that they have by default, I think, set all the way up, and I just turn it all the way down for the least amount of visual noise. So yeah, there's these last three settings especially are things you want to you know, change in order just to get a competitive advantage, and they don't really take too much of a hit to your resources no matter what computer you have. But talking specifically about and then this kind of goes hand in hand with your anti-aliasing and your resolution that your computer can push. So you could probably have this like all the way at 0 if you have if you're running the game at a higher resolution. But with this computer, again, I don't think you could really run it too much higher than 1080p, if at all. Depth of field, again, just going back through everything. We already went through it all. I don't know why I'm just going to go back up. I'm not going to go back up through it the opposite way. But really, just one real quick going back to the ray tracing. So ray tracing is awesome, right? It makes everything look just so much more realistic. It's something that you kind of have to see in motion to believe and appreciate, and it's really cool. But like, it takes about a 10 to 15 hit to your average FPS, so it's not ideal when gaming competitively. But if you really want to, and so I'd recommend leaving it on for campaign, if for just that extra immersion and realism. But if you must have it when you play online, I recommend setting your render resolution to 95% or 90%. You can kind of play around, just 1% makes a difference, and then you can actually play multiplayer with ray tracing, and it's not bad. I went on a really high kill streak one match playing with ray tracing on. I think I got a Juggernaut on a shoot house. So yeah, those are just my settings that I use. on with this computer with Modern Warfare. If you guys have any other questions, feel free to drop them below in the comments. I'll answer all questions that I get, as I have previously done. I'm still getting questions and answering them about my unboxing of this computer, so feel free, guys. Anyways, I'll be dropping more videos like I said. All right, guys, you have a good one. Take care and peace out.